all full of energy now because there's a dog up ahead of us. They were coming in this direction. When they saw these two, they turned around and started walking the other way. Probably because Batman barked. Anyway, I feel bad, like I've cut their walk short because they turned around before the end of the road. Well, hey. Good boy. This weather is just too nice to not go out for a walk. And it's a perfect way to procrastinate about doing university readings. Started doing some of them yesterday for the following week. One of the things was a videoed TED Talk, and I started watching it and I started falling asleep in my study chair. It was horrible, so I need to start it over fresh. You would think sitting in your office chair would be one way of avoiding dozing off while watching a video. I'll have another look when I get back. A bit of a tidy up out the front, like a rake up of the yard that's all fenced in, which meant I had to do poop patrol first. And then my wife said, I think I'll leave Batman out here for a little while. He was wandering around, and so I grabbed myself a coffee, sat in the chair by the pond, and he started playing ball. Hasn't done for quite a while. He was doing well too. Little back legs are getting a bit stronger. That's one of the reasons these walks are happening, so we can all get fitter and stronger. Wednesday morning. Today we're having a subject selection fair at school. Started setting up yesterday afternoon, finished setting up this morning. All the faculties that have electives for Year 11 in particular, but also Year 9, selling our subjects. Year 8 are coming down in the first period of the day, just to have a look around the displays. Throughout the day, Year 10 will be brought down in groups, periods 2, 3, 4. Look at the subject offerings, ask questions, that sort of thing. And then last period, there is a mini trade fair for Year 11s about post-school options. But those people will be there, I think, the whole day, so that they can talk to students about post-school options, be it TAFE or university, what the requirements are and what sort of things they can offer them. So full day between 4:30 and 5:30. Parents of Year 10s are invited up to find out a little bit of information and have a look at the subject fair as well. Because of the staffing issues, faculties have had to nominate who could go down and be at the fair to be able to talk to students if they need it. My staff are very heavily on load. One teacher is available period 1, 2 and 4, and I'm available 2, 3 and 4, and that's it. I'm trying to get my subjects up and running for next year, so I will just be there. So my day today is Year 11 period 1, fair period 2, fair period 3, fair period 4, playground duty at lunchtime, Year 12 period 5 and period 6 after school, and then the parent fair half an hour after that for an hour. But in addition to that, the Year 12's wanting to do some pre-sanding before putting their job together yesterday, and the one random orbit sander that we've still got that was running, there was a paper stuck to it, but it was fairly worn. When we took it off, we couldn't find any new discs. Any we tried just kept flying off. The Velcro on the bottom of the random orbit sander had been pretty trashed. So I stopped at Bunnings coming down the mountain, which is, like I said, it's a smaller store, and they had paper. And then I was going, I'll see if I can find a cheap random orbital sander. And all I could find were cordless ones. Cheapest sander was an Azedo for $64. But then you'd have to buy a charger and a battery, so that made it $80 odd for one small battery with a charger, or an extra would be $160 something if I bought the double charger with the 4 amp hour batteries that came with 2. If I wanted a Bosch one, cordless random orbit was $230 without any batteries. got batteries, but I couldn't find any corded ones. So I googled it. They do still sell an Azito, which is like the cheapest store brand version. It's $50 or $49, but it said there was none in that store. The other stores that I drive past on the way would have them. I went, okay, I guess that's what I'm going to have to do. Just as I was turning around, I saw down the very end of the aisle on the other side what looked like sanders. And sure enough, there were detail sanders. They were corded ones. All the battery stuff on one side, all the corded stuff on the other. Hidden in the back of a shelf was one of those Azito sanders. So I grabbed it. Get up to the register, $80 all up. Hand them my trade card, and they said, you'll have to go to the trade desk. And I thought, why do I need to go to the trade desk? I'll just use the card here. And she goes, your card's expired. She goes, yeah, you'll have to go to the trade desk, which is over in the other building up here. Problem for another day, I'll just pay for it. I looked at my card, expiry 7th of 23, so July 23. Today is the 2nd of August. Damn it. She said, didn't you get one in the mail, a new card? I went, nope. I'll go and find out about that at another time. I would have gotten 5% discount on the sandpaper, possibly, maybe 5 or 7 on the sander. You just took it at 5%. I would have gotten $4 off. Every bit counts, but not when I was in a hurry. My Year 12s can use that this afternoon. We do have some of the plain old orbital sanders, but they're getting fairly old and crotchety. Instead of keeping them flat, they sit there and gouge the fronts in and that sort of stuff to try and sand harder with them. And so the pads on the bottom have just gotten so worn and damaged. In some cases, they've worn them because they push down so hard that the screws bust through the paper. It's really hard to find good versions of those that clip onto, so you can just buy regular sandpaper, not needing the Velcro back stuff. We bought some Azito ones, and the Azito ones just seem to always let go of the paper. Ryobi ones that we bought, wire clips, had plastic handles on the ends, and the plastic handles have been snapped off them all by the kids, and they tend to let go of the paper. The best ones we've ever had are the Makita ones we've got. Have more of a, instead of just a piece of wire that goes across to hold the paper down, they've got a claw, like a metal serrated edge. They're the ones that have been worn so much on the bottom that they worked. And I just remembered, as I was describing the claw part, that I did buy some third sheet orbital sanders, which are the ones where they're a lot longer, the base. The regular little Makita ones are a quarter sheet, so you buy a sheet of sandpaper and you tear it into quarters and it fits perfectly on there. The third sheet one, rip it in thirds, or you can just buy the long roll of the sandpaper and like painters use and tear that off for it. I just remembered that I bought 2 of those. They're right in the very top of the shelf, so they don't get damaged.